Hey guys, what's up? So coming at you here from Beijing. It's very noticeable that there are way less expats right now in China than before the pandemic. Of course, a lot of people they left, or maybe they lost their jobs and they went back, and it's been very difficult for them to come back to China because of the visa requirements and the requirements of very strict quarantine for at least 4 weeks if they come back. And now is also as well a lot of English schools have been closed down or are about to close down. One of the most famous brands in China, Wall Street English, which has been here for decades and used to have hundreds of schools in China, has just announced they will go bankrupt. They will close all their schools. So another very big category of expats in China, the English teachers, will also become a lot less going ahead. And I noticed, just me walking around on the streets and going to restaurants and coffee shops, even in downtown Beijing, often I look around and I see I'm the only foreigner there. Of course, I still know a lot of foreigners who are still here in China, but it's just getting less and less every month, and it's pretty funny. Anyway, so today I thought I'll talk a little bit about the crackdown in China. It's been in the news a lot in the past few weeks, especially. Had a very big impact on the stock market. There's a lot of theories about why it's happening and what's happening. I would say, based on my impression of living in China, reading the local news, seeing the latest reports from different government agencies in China, there are two main concerns they have. One is about let's say, first of all, let's start with the tech crackdown on companies like Alibaba, Tencent, Didi, and so on. Of course, I think the background, as most of you know, was when Jack Ma, he went out last autumn, right before the IPO of Alibaba, or Alipay, Ant Financial. And he made some critical comments about the Chinese banking system and suggested some reform. And after that, the IPO was cancelled, and Jack Ma basically, he more or less vanished. He's still around somewhere, but he's very much off the radar. And I think what happened was that the government realized that these tech entrepreneurs, they have a lot of power. So just like in the West, in China, you have 4 or 5 owner-led tech monopolies that are very strong in different niches of the market. Like you have e-commerce, you have ride-hailing, you have social media, and you have a few companies that control pretty much everything. And the founders of those companies have become idols, like entrepreneur idols for the masses, and in some way they became individually a challenge to the system, but also, of course, the companies themselves began to wield enormous power, not only because of their monopolies, but also because of the data that they were holding. So I think that became the start of the overall overhaul of the policy, trying to reduce the power and influence of those big tech companies, to force them to limit their operations, to introduce more competition to the market, to avoid that there would be a new Jack Ma situation, basically. And that's what they have been doing now with Tencent, with Didi, with a few other companies as well that have been doing very well in the past few years. So that's one part of the crackdown. That's the tech crackdown, and that in a way goes against the interest of China, because they want to have a very strong AI sector and tech sector, and they were doing very well until recently. So, but then again, it's more important for them to control and to make sure there are no obvious threats from the private sector to their own power. The other part of the crackdown has been more about industries. So you have education, you have gaming, and there's a few other industries that might be hit quite soon, for example, online insurance. And the reason they have been hit, especially education, has been because of that middle class families in China, they spend around 1/3 of their income on after school activities, especially on English learning. And given how much money they spend on that, it's become like a source of pressure for the families. And it's made it more difficult for them, for example, to have more kids because they can't control their expenses. So by cracking down on after-school activities, the government hopes that families will feel more confident to have more kids and to feel better, more at ease with how much money they have left at the end of the day. So that part of the crackdown is more about, in a way, improving the quality of life for families and to make sure that people feel more happy, basically. So in a way, both of these are about attacking capitalism, but in different ways. One is more about power, and one is more about controlling the excesses of capitalism and ensuring people actually have more affordable lives. So at the end, it's not really like some people say, it's like death to capitalism or death to the market economy in China. It's not. It's really just about controlling the excesses seen from the Chinese government's perspective. Anyway, that's how I see it. If you have any comments or questions yourself, just feel free to comment. Okay guys, that's all for today. Take care. Bye bye.